Say hello to the Pixel 9a. Yes, I finally got my hands on it. Maybe you haven't yet if you pre-ordered it, because I know there's some waits on these things with trying to get them, but I got it live in the flesh. Thanks to Google for sending this out. I know, big surprise, right? But happy to be working with them, and I'm happy to be showing this off finally, because I've been waiting for this phone for like a week now. So super cool, and I've got the purple color, which I'm really excited about, but there's a lot to like here. Tensor G4, 8 gigs of RAM, 128 storage, which I wish we was. One of these days we're all going to bump up to 256, but it's got 128. It's got a big bright, that's too bright, 2700 nit brightness screen on here, 120 hertz refresh rate, full HD plus, AMOLED display, all that good stuff. Under the display fingerprint scanner, 7 years of support. There's a lot to like here, and it's $499. Should you get one? I don't know. Let's talk about it in this video. Here we have the Pixel 9a up close and personal, and this is the iris color. So this is purple. It's kind of like a pastel purple. Some folks said in a little video clip I did the other day, it looks more of a bluish color, but it actually is pretty purple. It's just like on a light, flat side, and it depends a little bit on the lighting, but yeah, it's definitely purple. And this is, whoop, this is the box, which I almost dropped there. So it's still the eco-friendly packaging. There's no charger in the box. There's honestly not a whole lot in here. I don't ever really do unboxings on this stuff anymore because there's just nothing exciting in there at all. But the phone itself, I like the dimensions on it. As you can see here, we no longer have the big camera bump on the back like we had with the other Pixel phones. So I think this is a new thing they want to do with the A. And really, there's no need to have that big bump because this one doesn't have as big a sensors or the camera hardware that the Pro series does. So there's just no need for it. So I think this does a good job of kind of giving the A its own little identity, and it differentiates it even more. But overall, the phone itself, I mean, it's nice. It's lightweight. It's only 186 grams. So you pick this sucker up, it does feel pretty light. And then it's got a 6.3-inch display on it. And this is a POLED, so you got an OLED display, you got an under-the-screen display sensor. It is optical. It's not the ultrasonic one, which is fine. It works well. You still got facial recognition. Like, one thing that's kind of glaring, though, when you take a look at this is the bezels. Like, it does have pretty large bezels on it, and there's really no need for that because of the fact that it does have the OLED display, but I don't know. Yes, it's a 6.3-inch display, but it's more like 6.1, maybe 6.1 and a half usable space because you got the big black border all the way around of it. Most people probably won't care that much, but just pointing it out. And yeah, OLED display, 120 hertz refresh rate, and it goes up to 2700 nits peak brightness, 1800 HBM, which means that's the highest you can get it manually. So with adaptive brightness on with this, you go out in the sun, it can kick up to that 2700 nits, but as far as being able to change it to like the maximum, then it'll only go up to 1800, but 1800 is still really good. I mean, it's definitely a nice bright display. It's got a 1080p resolution, 20:9 aspect ratio, Gorilla Glass 3. So that's something I've talked about a lot because they used it last go around, and other phones kind of in the budget mid-tier series have been using it. Gorilla Glass 3 is very good for protecting against surface abrasions and scratches. It's not as good at the shatter resistance. So I actually like it because, especially for people who don't carry a screen protector on theirs, this is going to keep it from getting as many scratches on the screen. So I'm happy about that. It's got the Tensor 4 in here. So if you don't like it, well, sorry, you can go kick rocks. That's what's in here. And it's funny because a lot of people complain about the Tensor in the flagship series because they don't think that it's powerful enough. But in an A-series phone, it's an amazing chipset, and it blows a lot of the other mid-series chipsets out of the water, especially when you take a look at like even the Motorola Stylus, the Moto G Stylus 2025. It's got a Snapdragon 6 Generation 3. This blows that out of the water. You take a look at some of the Exynos chipsets and the other phones or media. This one, the Tensor 4 in this phone is going to be fantastic. Now, it's only got 8 gigs of RAM, which is something that for me is problematic because it's not going to be able to handle some of the more or even basic AI stuff that they try to do on the device, and we ran into that issue last year with the Pixel A. I thought it would have at least 12, but no, it only has 8, so that's kind of disappointing, but it's going to be great for day-to-day stuff, no problem. 128 gigabytes baseline storage. You can get a 256 model, and then it's got the 48 megapixel camera on the back. You got an ultra-wide, the 13 megapixel. It does record 4K 60, so you can record 4K 60 with this, and then you've got the 13 megapixel selfie on the front here, which is going to take pretty decent photos as well. Now, one nice surprise, it has a 5100 milliamp battery. So the Tensor 4, which is pretty decent on battery life, in this phone is going to be something that's going to get pretty decent, definitely all-day battery life, and that's something that you're really going to appreciate. 23-watt wired charging, so charging on this is pretty slow. 23-watt wired, 7.5-watt wireless, and it does have the bypass charging, so once it gets to 80%, you can have that option enabled where it gets power straight through the cable, so that way it just powers the phone directly. If you want to play games, you want to do recording stuff, this is a big deal if you want to use this phone for like ride sharing, like let's say you're an Uber driver or a Lyft driver. If you worry about the battery, the phone heating up, the charging cycles, this is going to be a good one for you because, ta-da, it will bypass the battery once it gets to 80% and just charge directly from whatever it's plugged into, which is a really, really good feature for something like that. So that's something that's nice. It's IP68 dust and water resistant, so that's nice. It's an upgrade, no more IP67. It's got an aluminum frame and a plastic back. It does have nano SIM and 7 years of updates. So you get 7 years of updates. You get not only security patches, but software updates. So this comes with Android 15. We're going to get like, what, Android 22? So this phone's going to be relevant for a long time, and I love that it comes in this color. Oh, shoot. It has that tap on the back feature too, which you can, I have mine set up for turning on the flashlight. So yeah, if you do that, that's nice. USB charging, SIM tray down on the bottom. It's got stereo speakers, and yeah, that's kind of a rundown of all the specs and what it looks and everything. But yeah, I love this color. As y'all know, I love anything that comes in purple. So excited about that. And yeah, let's talk a little bit more about the phone. So that pretty much wraps it up on the Pixel 9a. Again, it's a good phone. It's one of those phones where I like it better at $399. And I say this, and I said this recently, look, it's basically kind of like a Pixel 8a with a couple extra updates. The Pixel 8a, I think, is a great phone. You can get it. I saw it for $399 recently. In a couple of months, this will be $399. And, well, by the time it shows up, maybe it would be $399. Anyway, that's just a joke. But, yeah. So this phone in a couple of months will be a heck of a deal. At $499, it's a phone that you can buy that's worth the money, especially with the 7 years of updates. And that's really something that differentiates it in this weight class between a lot of different phones. Most other phones in this price range don't get you that level of support. Heck, if you take a look at the Motorola phones, they're like 2 years. If you take a look at some of the other phones, they're like 4 years or 5 years. So this right here is 7 years up and down. 7 years of software updates and security patches. Plus it has the timeless Google Pixel cameras. Everybody loves the cameras. They take great photos. I'm sure this one will take great photos too. And it's got other nice stuff. IP68, they bumped it up from IP67. Still kind of slow charging. Big battery, 5100 milliamp battery. The Tensor 4 is going to be a good chip. A lot of people complain about it because they don't think it's powerful enough in the flagship phones, but it's an amazing chipset in this phone, and I think this phone will make people happy. Now, I wish they could one day shave down the bezels on it, but big screen for the size. I mean, 6.3-inch display, POLED, 2700 nits brightness, 5100 milliamp battery, Tensor 4, 8 gigs of RAM, 7 years of support. That's a nice resume for any phone in the $400 or $500 price category. And we know in a couple of months this will be $399. So it'll be a sweetheart deal in a few months. Right now, you can buy it if you want it. It is a nice upgrade, especially over the Pixel 6, the Pixel 5, the Pixel 7a. I think this is a nice update. So that's just kind of my thoughts on it. I'll come back with my full review later. I'll have my camera samples and all that stuff. I got it late Saturday, and then it was Easter today, or yesterday rather. So I got to go out, shoot some samples and stuff like that. It does shoot 4K 60 video, which is kind of nice. So got that going for it as well. So a lot of things to like here, especially the color. I would almost pay the extra $100 just to get the purple color. I love the color. Maybe you will too. If you like purple, this phone's going to be for you. So that's all I got. If you have any questions, comments, gripes, concerns, complaints, all that stuff, please, of course, go to the comment section. I'll do my best to get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.